Hello, good morning. Welcome to Choices. This is yours sincerely, Chirele, your host on Choices. Like I said, Choices is back and better from what it used to be. You're highly welcome. You know, in the past 2 editions, we've been talking about the choice of abusive marriage or relationship. And we did a special edition on Osinachi Nwachukwu two Mondays ago. And last week we did an Easter special. But I want us to talk about toxic relationship, a killer, the fastest killer in all human force. If in case you are just joining us today and you are not sure of what we are doing, this is choice we make. It's called Choices because everything we do in life has to do with your choice. What kind of choice are you making? You either make a choice that will make you or a choice that will mar you. And so, Chirele is here to tell you that to make a choice to remain in a toxic relationship is not the best for you. No matter your religious background, no matter your belief. Yes, people say, oh, you know that you cannot quit your marriage. Who says a dead lion does not have strength as much as a living dog? So, is it not better you run away from a toxic relationship and then fight from outside and make it right? Even if you're praying for the man to change or praying for the woman to change, you must be alive for you to be able to do that prayer and it will work for you. So, I want to tell us today that being in a toxic relationship is not the best for anybody. I said it the other day that we're not just talking about married couples now. Do you know that some people just girlfriend relationship? They are not lesbians. I'm not talking about the wickedness of lesbians. I'm talking about just mere good friends. They are in toxic relationship. You have a friend that whenever she's around, your heart cuts because she is going to tell you what you're saying is wrong or what you're doing is wrong, or she's not happy the way you dress, or she's not happy the way you are achieving anything. My sister, I want you to stay away from such a friend, for that person is not a friend. I also want you to know that in a boy-boy relationship, I'm not talking about homosexuals, I'm talking about real ordinary friendship. Some people, childhood relationships, that you need to actually be sure that you have peace with that person that you call your friend. I know of 2 young children that were friends. At a point, one will always get angry at the second one that, oh, why are you talking to somebody else? Why are you doing this? Why are you always this? Why is it you that they are always calling? And I got to know about it. I said, no, this relationship is toxic. Please go your separate ways. You know each other, yes, but you're not keeping malice. It's not good for anybody to be in a toxic relationship. Anything toxic will kill you faster than any other thing will kill. Malaria kills, HIV and AIDS kills, hepatitis kills, different viruses. Let me not just say coronavirus. Every other virus kills. But I want to tell you that nothing can kill you faster than emotional pain. You know that so many people think when you talk about toxic relationship or abusive relationship or domestic violence, they think it's only when the man hits you. No. Or when the woman hits you. It's not that. There are times when people hit you badly with their mouths. The tongue is a worse weapon that every human being has. That is why the tongue is there to be tamed. When you have a tongue that is very sharp, you must pray and ask God to help you tame it. And you must be very disciplined to tame your tongue. Don't just say, oh, let me just talk because I can talk. When you come to somebody, you open your mouth and you say things that you know will be killing the person. Something that will keep ringing in the person's mind at all times. You are just a murderer. You don't need to use gun. You don't need to use dagger. You don't need to use any physical sharp weapon or poison the person physically. You have poisoned the person's spirit and soul when you are using evil words on that person. Those are all toxicity. When you have toxic things in your heart, they burn down your bones. They burn down the fat in you. They burn down and poison your blood system, and then it kills you. So why become the agent that the enemy will use to destroy a fellow human being whom you could not create? And even your own life, you can't even expand your life. You can't even do anything better for yourself. So I am talking about toxic relationship today, and still making us understand that when you are in that kind of relationship and you are not talking, you are killing yourself. I have been telling us here, when such a relationship is on, please speak out. Do not keep quiet. Don't say, let them not say. People have died with, let them not say. Our beloved Osinachi Nwachukwu died because let them not say. So many people whose news didn't come out have died because let them not say. Is it not better that they say, oh, she couldn't maintain her marriage? It's their business. Oh, he couldn't keep his family. It's their business. The most important thing is that you are alive. So you need to be alive before anybody can talk. If you are alive, you have the chance to actually defend yourself. The dead cannot speak. Everybody keep guessing what happened to Osinachi. At that last minute, if people saw her, she felt good on Thursday. She felt good on Friday, early afternoons of that day, that somebody said, I was with her, she was gisting with me, she was fine. So what happened after that person left? That she was alone with that abusive man. Only God knows. Osinachi knows, God knows, and the man himself knows. But you know that there's no amount of lies you will tell yourself that will change the truth. Keep lying to yourself. At the end of the day, the truth will prevail one day and somehow. It might not come immediately. You might be thinking you are surviving and succeeding now, but there is a reward at last. There's something very spectacular I want to talk about today. All these people that parade themselves as men and women of God, in quotes. Oh, I am a man of God. Oh, I am a woman of God. And you are the one killing your spouse, either by mounting her, or by hitting her, or by emotionally torturing her. Sorry, heaven is far from you. That's what I said. Heaven is far from you. I know of a lot of people who are going through torture in their homes in the name of, I don't want to speak. When you talk to them, they say, no, just leave it. Just leave it is what led to Osinachi's death. There's this particular man of God, in quotes, but really he's a pastor in a church. But I tell you, his wife is under fire. She cannot even have a voice of her own. You will see them, they will pose in a poster and put the wife there and they will stand. And you will think, oh, these people are very loving. It's a lie. So many of them are just living a lie. The woman does not have a say. And some people will tell you, in my culture, a woman is not allowed to talk. Who says? What culture is that? In my culture, women are to be beaten. That's the only way they can be corrected. I stand to be corrected. What kind of culture is that? Who says that somewhere in this Nigeria, I'm not talking of outside Nigeria, in this Nigeria, people will tell you that in their culture, that they beat women so as to correct them. If they were beating your mother, maybe she wouldn't have been alive to give birth to you. And if that means that if you marry from another tribe, then you have a right to now beat her up because she does not understand your language, or because she is not from your place. So your culture says you should slap her, you should hit her. Then you are not a man of God. You do not know what you're doing. Go and repent. So many people will tell you that, no, I don't want to say. Please say it, my sister. Marriage is not by force. So marriage is not the certificate to heaven. And I am double sure that above in heaven, there's no marriage. The only marriage is with our Lord Jesus Christ. And who again? Nobody. He is the bridegroom. All of us are his bride, both the men and the women on this earth. So let nobody deceive you and tell you, yes, because you're in marriage, you're a Christian, please do not try to go away. My dear, I did not say you should even divorce. Just go away. Go away and maintain your sanity. Go away so you can be alive. So many people will tell you, if I go, they will tag me incapable of keeping my hope. They will tag me a free woman. If they call you a free woman, be the free woman and be alive. If they like, let them say you are this or that. Accept it for now. At least the most important thing is that you are alive. Time will tell when you'll be able to explain, in case your children are very young. Some people will say, because of the children, let me stay. I'm sure that was Osinachi's case. Because of my children, can I just stay? You're staying because of your children. Now where are the children? Now where are you? The children are now separated from you permanently. So is that what you're in for? You don't need to, because of any reason, what people will say, what society will do, and then because of that, die prematurely. Then you are committing a sin. You're also committing suicide. I want to tell you that all of you in toxic relationships that are managing it, telling yourself, let them not say, you are committing suicide. And if you die in it, you go to hell. You are committing suicide. So please, stop this toxicity in your life. Do not allow anybody to deceive you. Don't allow anybody to tell you that, if you do it, you know. I know of people who have worked out that are living better and happier. From afar, you assist your children. From afar, you do, in case they refuse you from taking the children. If they allow you to take your children, and then find something to do with your life. Even if you begin to sell ordinary pure water, you will not beg for food. People will see your effort and assist you. People who knows what you have gone through will come to your aid. So I don't understand why anybody will tell you to remain in that toxic relationship. I got so pissed when I heard about the story of a man who married somebody few years now. And then the next thing is he is always battering her, hitting her, doing everything. But for crying out loud, how can you be there and somebody in your father's house, you are not being beaten from a particular age? Some children were not even beaten at all in their homes from age 1 till they got married and left their home. How can you, an adult, full-fledged adult, leave your father's house and go to marry a man who now decides to turn you to his house help? Is that not enough? He now turns you to a punching bag. That's not enough. He turns you to a sex machine. What nonsense is that? Or turns you to a baby making factory machine. For crying out loud. At the end of the day, he's beating you. He does this, he does that to you. And you are just there, keeping quiet. Let the world not say. Please let the world say. Let the world say. Toxic relationship is demonic. Toxic relationship kills. It's not just going to kill you alone. It's going to kill members of your family. Your parents are in trouble. Your siblings are also in trouble because everybody is now worried and praying for you, thinking of how do we do it? How do we bring you out of this? Oh, let my daughter not die here. Oh, let my son not die in the hand of this wicked woman. So you can see that toxic relationship goes round the whole family. So why don't you just do your best and make sure that you don't tolerate it? I'm not saying at any little argument you walk away from your marriage, no. But there's something I want to bring out here. Do you know that so many people who are in these relationships saw the sign during courtship? During courtship, even if you courted for just 1 month, there was a sign that this person has something that you might not be able to tolerate. And you said, maybe it was just an impulse thing. You know, we know how to give excuses for people. We know how to say, it's true, let's just manage. Some people during courtship, you will notice that the person is angry at any little thing. At a point, he will just walk away, or at a point, she will get angry and she's gone, and then you are following and managing. There's a man I know in this Abuja, when he was courting a lady, it was so obvious that the lady was a case. He will call her, she does not care. He visits her, she will walk out on him. And yet he was bent on, I saw fine girl, I saw fine girl. Fine girl and fine girl. Eventually, he went ahead to marry her. She accepted to marry him because the one she was expecting disappointed at the last minute. So she agreed to marry him. It's a story I know very well. I'm not saying what did not happen. It happened right here in Abuja. In fact, in Gariki. By the time this man went ahead to marry her, would you believe that on the wedding day that this lady didn't come? Wedding was to start for 10 o'clock. Everybody was seated waiting for her. She did not come till about 1 p.m. No apologies. By the time she came in, she was like, yes, what is it? And they still managed and begged the pastor. The man wedded them. I know that such a thing cannot happen in an Orthodox church. Catholic, Anglican, and Methodist. They will walk away. They will tell you, sorry, the time is over. But it's in all these small churches, Pentecostalism. So they went ahead and wedded them. The man saw hell. After 2 years, he started crying out loud that he was dying. But people like me told him, Oga, you saw it. It's not that you didn't see it. But you felt you saw a fine girl. And that was all. At the end of the day, the marriage hit the rocks after 5 years. When the girl picked her knife one day to stab him to death, he ran for his dear life. And that was the end of the marriage. That was when his family now had pity on him and threw him out of Nigeria and just sent him abroad. And the lady, oh, it's your business to your tent. And she didn't even give a hoot about it. She didn't care. How can you be in a toxic relationship when you are just friends and you see it and you say we can manage? I know somebody who says, oh, I know that he will change. He will change, he will change. Every day you know him during courtship, he kept on carrying different girls. And he will see you and tell you, don't worry, nothing is just about this person. She was my classmate here. This one, she was my colleague this way. And you kept on enduring and thinking he will change. At the end of the day, they got married. The thing degenerated to the point that they couldn't have any female house help. And should she say a word, he will beat her on top of it. And tell her, what right do you have to stop me from doing what I want to do? He will sleep with the house help. He will go outside and carry girls. Obviously carry them before his wife. And then she was dying. Until she developed stroke. When she was in her stroke bed, somebody called me. We went and visited. When I came there, I was like, what is wrong with you? You really want to die? Is it that he just started it? She said even before they got wedded, she thought he would change. I said, that's it. You saw it. You thought he would change. And he was not that time apologizing. He was always giving you excuses. If the man was even apologizing, say, okay, there's an element of conscience in him. But he was not even apologizing. By the time I knocked sense into her, I told her, face your therapy and get well first. Face the therapy. And on her stroke bed, the man didn't care. The man had a better time to now carry women into their matrimonial home. They already had 3 children, 2 boys, a girl. He didn't care that he had young children in his house. He was never visiting her in the hospital. It was the house help that he would, after sleeping with her, that one would still say, my madam, and she would come to the hospital to see her. Until when I noticed, I said, even the house help should stop coming before they will come and give you poison to die. Because you are already the target. To the glory of God, after some time, she was discharged. I told her, you can't go to the house because it will get worse. And then I pleaded with her parents. They allowed her to come back home. She wasn't, because they were angry. They said they told her, they saw this earlier. They told her, she didn't hear. So they begged her, we begged the parents, and they allowed her come in. So from her parents' house, we moved the children to her parents' house, so she was recovering fast. By the time she became very okay, the man, you will not believe it, carried a woman to a place. By the time whatever he was doing with the woman was done, he had stroke on the bed of adultery. And the girl picked her phone and called the lady and said, sorry, you'll come and carry your husband because I don't know what is wrong with him. This is the address. And she used his phone to call. And she walked away permanently. Well, you wouldn't believe it. By the time this lady and her family went to the place, they saw the man half dead. They called him and then started battling with him. They took him to the hospital, he was admitted, and God's mercy was on him. Eventually, he survived. Today, he's out of stroke. She's very okay. She's back on her feet walking. He is now a faithful husband. That's a different case, my sisters. It's a case where God's mercy was really on them. That woman would have died that first stroke she had. Then maybe he wouldn't have had his own stroke, or even if he had his own stroke, she would have long been gone before that thing happened. There's no joy in any toxic relationship. When you have a relationship that is highly toxic, my sister, please find your way. My brother, please find your way. Don't stand there and be waiting for somebody to tell you, the Bible says, for divorce I hate. Yes, God hates divorce. At the same time, God hates cheating. God hates sin generally. He didn't say, because I hate divorce, my daughter, I stay there and let them kill you. You become a martyr. It's not everybody that will become a martyr. Some people will stay there and die and go to hell because it is suicide they committed. They knew that relationship was bad and they remained in it. And they were not doing anything rather to get themselves out of it, but they were just there. So when you have anything that is attacking your heart, attacking your mind, attacking your blood system, please, it is called toxic. Run away from it. Anything that you can do to detoxify yourself from that, detoxify yourself. Walking away is detoxing. Getting your head cool from that relationship is a better way than staying and then dying for nothing. Some people felt, oh, this my wife is giving me trouble. Let me divorce her and go for another one. You go for another, you enter into another toxic relationship. You enter into another relationship where the woman will now be trouble for you again. Why don't you leave a relationship and then stay calm and listen to your heart? Watch out. Ask yourself a series of questions. Was it my fault? Was there anything I was doing wrong? Was there anyhow I was getting it wrong? Or was it totally her fault or my fault? Until you are separated, you sit down to analyze these things. You can't get correct answer for it. Some people will say, she's the one, she's this, she's that. It's because of her I couldn't get the contract. It's because of her I became sick. It's because of her my car crashed. It's because of... Or the woman will say, it's not because of him that I couldn't continue in my education. It's not because of him I couldn't do my job. It's not because of him I don't visit my parents. My dear, if you don't continue your education, it's not because of the man. It's because you don't have the willpower to do it. If you did not get the kind of job you want to do and do it, it's because you were not pushing. You didn't want to get it. You didn't go to visit your parents. You didn't spend money on your parents. It's because you're a wicked girl. It's not because of your husband. If your husband says you can't give them, yes, I know of somebody who says that in their place, as a married person, you don't have a right to take a dime from your purse to give to your parents. I said that is life from the pit of hell. The mother that carried you for 9 months and brought you up, the father that nurtured you with your mother and made sure you went through life until the man came and married you, will now tell you that you don't have a right to give them a cup of water. That is a lie. That tradition is not true. It is a lie from the pit of hell and cannot stand. If you don't take care of your parents, who will you take care of? You owe them. You owe your parents that completely. You may not owe your siblings. You have equal rights in your father's house. You may not owe them. But you see your parents, you owe them to take care of them from the day you become somebody until the day they die. So don't even say, my husband did not allow me. That is the reason. Just like Osinachi Nwachukwu, her husband did not allow her mother to come for Mugo. And she kept on opening her leg and closing her until she had 4 children. Is that not rubbish? Instead, when you had the first one, he said your mother cannot come. Second one, she cannot come. And then they came and carried you in after the second baby. Then you went back and said it's for better, for worse. Tell me where it's written in the Bible. The only thing I know that the Bible categorically said clearly is that a man shall leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife. But today, our men are rather cleaving to their families. Because of their families, they hit you, they beat you. They want to destroy you. They don't even want you to have a voice in their house because of their own family. And they claim to be men of God. They claim to know God. Who says? If you are a man of God, you know that the Bible says that you will live. God knows that the woman already lives. He knew that once you come in and pay her dowry and carry her, she leaves her parents. Then you are still in your father's house. That's why the Bible says that for a man shall leave his mother and his father and cleave unto his wife. Your wife becomes your mother, your wife becomes your sister, your wife becomes your daughter, your wife becomes your advocate, your wife becomes your prayer partner, your wife becomes your love, your wife becomes everything. And vice versa. When you get married, you are two entities coming together to form one body. That's why I say it's the flesh of my flesh and the bone of my bone. Both of you becomes one flesh. That's what it is. And when you are one flesh, it means that you cannot hurt yourself. Any man that slaps you, slaps himself. Any woman that insults her husband, insults herself. So toxic relationship is a killer. Don't kill any of your partners. Don't make anybody die before his or her time. The word is love one another. When you love her, she will submit. If you don't love her, she will become rebellious. Try and love your wife. I know somebody that before you say a word, he will tell you, I love my wife and she knows it. And yet you can lift your hand and hit her every time. What kind of love is that? That is no love. If you love your wife, you can't hit her. If you love your husband, you cannot hit him. You cannot abuse him. It's when you have hit the woman and hit her that women will now decide, oh, let me even stab this man and kill him. But that's not what we are talking about here today. What we are talking about here today is that toxic relationship kills. So if you are in any way in a toxic relationship, run for your dear life. Run, flee, because it is a fast killer. Don't just get yourself involved in anything or somebody coming to advise you, don't worry, endure. You that is wearing the shoes, don't you know where it's pinching you? If it's something you can endure, oh, I agree, I endure. If it's something that it cannot work, and find out what is the cause of this pain. Is it external factors? So many homes, their problem is that the family will always interfere. Sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law interfering in their brothers' wives, in their brothers' marriages or their sisters' marriages. Why? Allow them find their ways. Allow them fashion the way they want to do it. Marriage is something that you pray about and you work it out. Both of you must come together to agree, and agreeing to agree. If you see that it's not something you can agree to agree, then you begin to disagree to agree. That's the point. I know of somebody that in a relationship, they were almost getting married. But at a point, the woman said, what I'm seeing here, I can't take it in marriage. Why don't we stop? And it was a bit difficult for the guy to agree. But at the end of the day, the best thing was both of them came to a round table and said, my dear, let us agree. Let us disagree now to agree. The disagreement is that we have agreed that we cannot be compatible as man and wife. We are not compatible. Let's not go into it before we kill each other. The lady said that the reason why she said she couldn't continue is that if she should marry this guy, that she will see herself not being satisfied as a woman, that she will find herself committing adultery all her life. So it's better to say no. So many people, you know what you're doing. You are in a relationship that you know that from beginning, you know that this guy is not what I want, or this girl is not meeting up what I want. And you are managing because you don't want people to say, after how long you disappointed. It's better to disappoint the person now than to now kill each other at last. Disappoint yourselves now. Part ways. The right one will come your way, the right one will come this other person's way. Both of you will now become good friends at last. You'll be able to call each other and say, oh, how are you? How is your family? than to keep quiet and be saying, oh, I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. Please, let us try as much as we can to end toxic relationship in this world. And the way we can end it is by being very, very sensitive. I read about somebody who got married after 11 whole years, and they live abroad. They had 3 children after 11 years. The woman's mother died. She flew back to Nigeria just to come and, she flew back to Africa just to come and do the burial. By the time she was here, as soon as the burial was done, the day the burial was done, this man abroad paid assassins to eliminate her here where she was in her hotel room. But luck was on her side. She was able to, but they kidnapped her, of course, because he called her and said that instead of sleeping, why don't you go out and get fresh air? Walking out to get fresh air was how this woman was kidnapped. And then when they kept her in the empty house, they made a call and told the person, we have gotten her. In the next 5 minutes, we'll destroy her and then dispose of her body. And the woman felt, oh, the end had come, that she just prayed a prayer, God, just save my children. If I cannot be saved, let my children be saved. And then the leader of the gang told her, do you know who sent us? And she was like, no. He said, what did you do to this man that he wants you dead? The woman said, to the best of her knowledge, there's no man she's having an issue with. And they asked her, she said, which man? They told her, your husband. Now she said, you can't tell me such a lie. My husband loves me so much, he can't do it. Can you imagine the deception of the devil in this world? For 11 years, he has always shown her, I love you, I love you. She thought it was real. The same man decided to get assassins to kill her in Africa, so it would look as if she came home and was killed here. Meanwhile, it was planned all the way from where they were living outside the country. And the man slapped her to death. Why are you a fool? Why don't you believe what I'm saying? Okay, they now put a call through to the man and put it on speaker, and she heard her husband's voice. And they told him, pay us the balance because we are going to finish our job in the next 5 minutes. And she was there. He sent in the money through Western Union. And the woman said that was when she passed out for some time. After a while, they resuscitated her and said to her, can you now see that you're a fool? You thought he is your husband. That all she just prayed for in her mind was, God, please save my children from this man. And then the killers told her, we don't kill women and children. That is the reason why we want to spare you. But you might not be lucky if you cannot flee as we want you to flee. He has paid us. And they kept her for some time. After 48 hours, they came back. Meanwhile, they were looking for her all over. Her brothers, they've already contacted the husband, contacted police. The husband sent money so they could pay police for investigations and all those things, without knowing that he was behind it. Down where they were living, he already announced her obituary. He was already telling the whole world her obituary, how she was going to be buried, her funeral. You wouldn't believe this story. The men came and released her. By the time they released her, they blindfolded her all this while. By the time they released her, they gave her the tape, the memory card of all their conversations with the man from beginning till that day, and the receipts of the Western Union, and told her this can serve as your evidence. We are giving you 80 hours to live, or you might not survive. And this woman went back, met her family, told her brothers, and everybody kept calm, and she went back. By the time she arrived in the country, she called her pastor and told the pastor. And then this pastor didn't believe it, because this is a brother in quotes that everybody knew was a good man, a brother in quotes that everybody saw that loves her and loves the kids very well. And suddenly, well, the man, after he met her at the airport, the pastor, she gave him the evidence. He looked at them and he could not believe his ears and his eyes. He agreed with her. he was still the one who was going to do the funeral service for the husband. And he attended the funeral and organized the funeral as the man wanted. And they agreed, himself and the woman, that she will appear at the last minute. By the time this woman appeared, the man was like, it's a lie. She appeared, and when he realized it was real, he started confessing. That is how wicked human mind can work. Yes, he's in jail. She had to leave. But the world were still talking. Why would she? How come? Are you not sure she just framed him? For what? She's the one who has the money. So why would she frame somebody who was feeding on her? So my sisters, if you're going into a relationship, pray and be watchful. Be alert to be sure you are dealing with somebody who knows God, somebody who loves God indeed, not just by mouth. I love my wife, no be from mouth. I love my husband, no be from mouth. A woman will tell her husband, I love you, and she's sleeping with his best friend. Some are even sleeping with their father-in-laws. Some are sleeping with their brothers-in-law. And then they all plan and kill the man. These are all evil that men do in our generation. Please, I want you to look inward and tell yourself, toxic relationship must not be allowed to remain. If you know anybody who is in a toxic relationship, advise the person to speak to us on Choices. We'll be willing to bring you online when we are having our program like this, so that you can talk to the world, let the world know that we are not just making up stories, but we are saying what is really happening, because the world has gone so bad. But we still have very good people around us. So please avoid any toxic man, woman, boy, girl around you. If your child is having a relationship with somebody and you feel it's toxic, please separate your child from that person and explain to your child why they should be separated. If you are having a toxic relationship with anybody, please walk away. Even if it's the job you're doing that is giving you that kind of relationship, please watch out and see how you either change department or change the job, because it is better to be a living dog than a dead lion. Thank you so much for watching Choices today and for this week. But I want to tell you that Choices will come your way again on Monday, same time, 9 a.m. Please tell your friends, everyone, to come join us. You can also watch us or like our channel on YouTube, like our page, like the channel, and then subscribe to our channel. Please and please go ahead and tell people that something good is happening on Choices. I am still yours sincerely, Chirele. God bless you. See you on Monday.